In the blood that you passed through your teeth, there was no pity, no fading. Film begins on a kid in the big city, and no cut to a costly parade that's for him only. No dissolve to a sliver of prey that's his.
Okkervil River are an American rock band from Texas, and they're led and fronted by singer and songwriter Will Sheff. They take their name from a Russian river, and it's not a switcheroo of the word overkill, which was, I did wonder. They were formed in 1998 and are still going. They have released 9 albums, they have 13 ex-members and 5 current members. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was their 4th album, and it's my first encounter with them as a band, and so therefore obviously with this album as well. And I would broadly describe this as indie rock with folky and chamber rock elements, basically using classical instruments. But actually, I think is better described maybe as either art rock or a singer-songwriter, possibly a combination of those two. So I've been on a little bit of a journey listening to this album. So what I normally do when I'm reviewing an album is that I do a listen and then I read some stuff about the album and the band if I've not come across them before, and then I do another listen. And I try and make sure that I listen in different circumstances because that gives me a different feel for the album. So there are various places and ways that I do listen to albums. One of my major ones is in the car because I started doing reviewing as a kind of impetus to give me something to listen to on my commute. So my first listen to this was in the car on my commute, and I started when it first came on by thinking it's hard to stand out from other stuff that sounds like this. And it did kind of initially give me a quite an indie rock feel to it. And I feel like there's a lot of indie rock around that's just kind of, yeah, it's more of the same, really. Um, but it wasn't long before I was thinking that this album does stand out from other stuff that maybe has similar sounds or can be classified similarly. Um, so, yeah, as I listened through it, my first listen, I got quite into it. And then I did my reading. So the reason why I do the reading in the middle is because I like to be able to, if I can, approach an album completely as ignorant as possible in the first occasion, and then approach it again with some, in a more informed way. So I found it interesting when I was reading, and particularly finding out what some of the songs are about. And if you want to dig into that, there will be a link down below for the Wikipedia page, because that's where I got the information from. My second listen to was in the bath. So I do occasionally get clean by having a bath, and I like kind of big deep baths and a big long soak. And I've got a little Bluetooth speaker that I stick on, and so sometimes listen to albums in the bath. And I really got into it in my second listen. I very much enjoyed it. So from the start to the finish, it really kind of won me over. It's musically fairly straightforward. Like I say, it's got kind of quite a bit of acoustic stuff, which gives it that kind of possibly folk label, and classical instruments, but not kind of really classical feel, although occasionally a little bit. Will Sheff's got a strong but tremulous voice, so it's kind of got a bit of a dramatic wobble to it. So it's the kind of voice that I would think that leads itself to dramatic stuff and sad stuff, but that's not all that is here. So there is stuff that has got drama to it, but there's also humour in here as well. And there's quite an undercurrent of humour all the way through, I would say. It's hard to pull out a favourite song. I would say the real strength here is the songwriting, which is strong, and there's a lot of stuff to dig into, and there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. So I'm just going to pull out a few of these songs and do quick descriptions. So A Hand to Take Hold of the Scene is a description of film and TV scenes that their songs have been used for. Very interesting approach to a song. Savannah Smiles is about the death of a porn star. Plus Ones very interesting song. It's an exploration of various songs with numbers in their titles that, by other people, but by adding one. So we've got stuff like exploring the ideas of 100 Luftballons rather than 99, and 51 ways to leave your lover, and various others with that. John Allen Smith's Sales is about the life and suicide of poet John Berryman, and incorporates a rewording of the sloop John B towards the end, which I very much enjoyed. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it, especially the songwriting. The music works for it. It's a rich vein of material here. And yeah, I think I'd look forward to hearing more from Okkervil River. I think there's some interesting stuff going on here. That 2007. For a long time, I thought that there wasn't very much that was any good that had been produced since the year 2000. But I'm finding it. I'm finding some really good stuff, and this is one of them. So yes, for me, it does stand above many things that this sounded similar to at the start, and it does sound quite different when it gets going. It's got a kind of grandness to it at times, which also is appealing to me. So I like it quite a lot. And as always, I'd like to invite you to tell me what you think of this album. So please do by leaving me a comment. Please share. And that's it from me for now.
Well, I hear my father